Hi and welcome to my site. I'm Dana Durnford. I know my last video I wigged out a little bit. I was really upset. I seen the first two videos of Israel assaulting unarmed civilians. And we don't know the whole story because Israel only tells us one side of the story, right? Israel, Jerusalem's Post, printed an article the day before all this went down. And that article, there was two articles. One was they were putting their nuclear armed sub permanently as a midway point between them and people they have a problem with. But there was another article there. Israel said, in an emergency, in the Jerusalem Post now, I'll put links in the crotch bar, YouTube. Israel said they were going to be able to put 500,000 Israeli citizens in the West Bank in the settlements. They said they'd do that because the Muslims wouldn't launch a weapon of mass destruction on their own Muslims. But what you're basically saying is Israel would use that 1.5 million people as human shields. They would use the entire country as human shields. But Huwaida Arraf. Now, most of you people know her through, I'll put a clip on her.
그런데 이때
Stop! Be careful! Stop! Stop!
한 팔레스타인 처녀가 총구를 막아섰다.
Hey, kids, don't you understand that? You're shooting at kids. Just pull back.
And I came across her a few days ago as part of the flotilla, and I said, I knew that girl, and that was the first clip you watched here. And now I have another clip that just came out where she explains, she's one of the first people talking, getting released. So this is the first news we're getting out of that. Israel has beat her up, police beat her up, after she landed in Israel.
I was on a ship called the Challenger 1, which is an American-flagged ship. When they towed us into the Israeli port, we were all separated. I don't know what happened to my colleagues. I was recently released after they took all my things, my phone, my money, my bags, my computer, everything. And I told them I don't want to leave without my colleagues or without my stuff, but they wouldn't listen. They forced me into a police car, actually picked me up by my hair and elbowed me in the eye and the jaw to push me into this police car, and then they just threw me out of the police car somewhere I didn't know. I hit my head and passed out, and the next thing I knew there was ambulance around me. So they were extremely violent, although we over and over again said we are unarmed civilians, we're carrying aid to Gaza, there is no reason to attack us.
When you take Israel, it indoctrinated its entire population. It has 1 million people that are paid to stay home and do nothing but study Torah. So their wives and their children, and they're the biggest breeders in that country. So that means a large, probably well over half the population is from the brainwashed, absolutely indoctrinated. All they do is read the one book their entire life. But anyway, Israel has 1 million that they pay every day to sit home. So you got over 50% of the population indoctrinating the entire population, because if one of those extremists, what I call extremists, religious extremists, because that's what they are. They're paid to do nothing but be extremely religious. Okay, that's extremist religion. Make no mistake about it. No matter what religion it is. So when you take that, and you take, they're getting free money, they're getting free land, they're getting free homes, they get to go in and plow down, so their children are indoctrinated at the same time. They plow down these other people's homes, and they build homes for these extremist people over a book, right? All over this book. And they will destroy this planet for that book, make no mistake about it. We have to stop these people from destroying the planet. But we have to convert them back to sanity, because right now they're all living on one book. Their whole ideology is one book. Everything they think, everything they say, everything they moan, unfortunately, is coming to get Jerusalem. Because everything in the book says they need Jerusalem and 3 red heifers, right? So they need Jerusalem because God told one of them in a book that they were God's chosen people, and they're going to slaughter anybody who's on that land to get that land. It doesn't matter to them. It doesn't matter to them because it's a prophecy that if they get it, they go to heaven, right? So I've explained this in a couple of my other videos. My first 2 videos, if you look back to my videos on Israel, are extremely bad recordings, but I lay out war crime after war crime after war crime with the clips to back it up, okay? I lay it out very clearly: depleted uranium, dime bombs, cluster bombs, all the hideous 155mm shells they dropped down. They told everybody to get outdoors and drop white phosphorus on their heads with no shelter, and dropping bombs on their homes at the same time with a 900-foot kill ratio. So you can imagine the carnage and the chaos going on there, and we've seen the footage of that, right? We've seen the footage of it. They use white phosphorus all over Gaza. They got Gaza herded into a 40-kilometer zone. To a 40-kilometer zone, folks. 40-mile zone. They got 1.5 million people put in a 40-mile strip as a ghetto. It's a complete ghetto. Over 80% of the population got no access to fresh water. What's really hideous was that, and still are, Israel is coming out because they're only giving you one side of the story. They won't let any of the footage. They're taking all the footage away from everybody. We're not going to get none of this footage. We're not going to get none of this footage. Israel will x-ray everybody. They'll do it all, man. They'll pull toenails. And what you got to realize is this is all about a piece of land. This is because we abrogated our responsibilities. We never hold them to account. We let them get away with it as a society. Now that the internet is here, there's more voice and there's more backlash coming out, but Israel is still hell-bent on self-destruction. And it's doing this on purpose because its prophecy is the whole world will turn on them. So you don't see any kind of relations going on in Israel and Mossad and Israel and everybody else threatening, posturing all the time, like with that submarine out there. That's posturing of the worst kind. But they put that out there the day before they knew. So Netanyahu coming to our country, my country, Canada, okay? That's wrong. We don't want that guy in our country. Absolutely honor. No way do I want that man in my country. He went to see Bilderberger's Stephen Harper. Tony Blair was a Bilderberger. You know, George Bush was a Bilderberger. These people were funded by the same people who fund both sides of every war. Same people who's funding Israel. I mean, everybody needs to speak out and say, we want Israel to stop sanctions. We want Israel to be de-weaponized. We want Israel to stop brainwashing and indoctrinating their entire population with absolute nonsense. That's nonsense. The whole world is going to turn on you because you're so special. Have you lost your mind? You want to destroy the world. That would fulfill your prophecy. That's why you don't want using the depleted uranium, because you do think this world is not going to be around for much longer. That's why you blasted every building. Do you know to clean up depleted uranium in Gaza is you're supposed to remove every single building and 900 foot of topsoil 3 inches deep around every single building. So what happens when you lobbed in 25,000 155mm depleted uranium shells? You sprayed depleted uranium in all these buildings, all that dust. It's just hideous what you've done. You polluted that land for 4 million years, but it doesn't matter because you think your prophecy is going to come true. The whole world will turn against you, and because you have Jerusalem, because that's what this is all about, you will kill everybody to get Jerusalem, absolutely, and you want to use what's left as human shields, right? You figure you can get 500,000 people over in Gaza into the West Bank, and you think that the Muslims won't attack them there because the human shields you got. That is enough. That is enough, okay? I'm not turning on you. I'm turning on your ideology that you got all these people brainwashed to think. I want to rescue these people. I want to rescue Israel, the Jews. You guys have definitely lost your way in the world. You're self-centered and you're self-destructive, but you're going to destroy the world to get your own way. And we know you're making biological, chemical weapons on a massive scale. We know you're playing around with that technology. We're watching. We know. The world knows, man. It's not me. It's the entire planet, okay?
That 800 tons of depleted uranium, if it's released into the air, is the atomicity equivalent, or the equivalent number of radioactive atoms, as 41,000 Nagasaki bombs.
Some people have described it that we will be at war with Iraq till the end of Earth, because we cannot turn off the weapons that we used against Iraq. This is the time test. You have to be able to stop the weapons at the end of the war. Depleted uranium has a half-life of 4.5 million years, so we are at war with Iraq for the end of time.